So in this video, I'm going to be doing question 20, 22, and 23 from game 4 of prep test 31. All right, so question 20. If the installation takes 3 days, so day 1, 2, 3, so how could that work? We could have just P on the third day, or we could have S and P on the third day. So we don't know where that split is going to be. We just know that T and P can't be on the same day. And then day 1 is definitely going to have F, but might not have W. So W could be on day 1 or day 2. That would be fine. So we're not sure where W is going to be. Okay. If the same 2 crew members, so if the same 2 crew members work on the first and third days, that means that we're going to have 2 tasks on day 1 and 2 tasks on day 3. So I should have read further before creating my diagrams. So we're going to have F and W on day 1 and S and P on day 3. And it's the same 2 crew members. So we need to find a pair where one of them can do F and S or F and P, and the other one can do the other tasks. So WP or WS. So what I'm looking for is I'm looking for like 2 crew members where those 2 can handle these tasks together and also can handle these tasks together, but it doesn't have to be in the same order, right? Like it could be like that and that, or the other way around, right? We don't care about that part. So I would be looking for I'm not looking at a crew member that could do the taping, right? That's going to be on the middle day. I'm looking for ones that can do these guys. So H and I are not going to be great because H can't do F or W. I and K aren't going to work out because neither one of them can do W, right? They both just do framing for one of the day 1 tasks. I and L, so we've got I, but L does taping, can't do sanding. K and O, so K, that's great. What about O? Ooh, that looks good, right? So neither of them does taping. We could have K and O on day 1 with K doing the framing and O doing the wall boarding. And then on day 3, we could have K doing the sanding and O doing the priming. So that works out perfectly. We could have those two crew members be the same ones that work on the first and third days. That would be fine. So that one works out. Yeah. I hope that makes sense, how I determined that would work. So let's move on to question 22. If the installation takes 3 days, and if the sanding is done on the third day, okay, so sanding is done on the third day, then we have sanding and priming on day 3. And we have taping for sure on day 2 and framing for sure on day 1, but wall boarding could be on either of those days, maybe. Let's see. Which one of the following could be a list of all the crew members who work on the second day? So this is, what would be a scenario that would be complete here, that would work. So we could have someone who just does taping, or if we have 2 players, they would have to be able to do wall boarding and taping together. So okay, so just Inga, well, Inga can just do framing, so that's not going to work. Framing has to be on day 1 because we have to have at least 1 task on day 1, right? So minimum 1 task per day is where I'm getting that. Kelly can just do framing of those and can do S, but that's going to be on day 3, so that's no good. Same with Inga, can do priming, but that's going to be on day 3. We're looking for day 2. Olaf can do wallboarding, but if wallboarding is included on day 2, we have to have taping as well. D, we have G and H, but if we have 2 tasks on day 2, it's going to be wallboarding and taping. So the only one that would work would be E, which is L and O. So if L and O both work on day 2, we have to have one of them do wallboarding and the other one do taping. O can only do wallboarding of those 2. So Leanda would then have to do the taping that day. Even though Leanda can do wallboarding, Leanda would end up doing the taping because Olaf's got wallboarding covered and can't do taping. So that's how L and O would work together that day. So 22, E is the correct answer. 23. Which one of the following could be a pair of members of the crew, both of whom work on the same days as each other, and each of whom perform 2 tasks? So this is really similar to question 20 with we have these two crew members and they do, they do 2 tasks and they have to work on the same days as each other. So for example, here, this one would not work out. Like L and I wouldn't work out because even though each of them does 2 tasks, they can't be on the same day as each other because T and P can't be together. So G and M, G can only do 1 task. That's not going to work. H and K, they overlap in tasks, so we don't want that. They can't both do sanding, so then we're not going to be able to have them cover 4 tasks total. They could only cover 3 total. That's not going to work. I and L. Ooh, I and L is interesting, but we've already figured that out, right? That's not going to work because T and P can't be on the same day, and they have to work the same days as each other, according to the question. K and L. Ooh, K and L I like, right? So we could have day 1 be F and W, day 2 be T and S, and then we'd have that break between S and P, which would allow T and P to be on different days. So that would be okay. So we could have K and L on day 1 and K and L also on day 2. So that's the correct answer, D. Why doesn't L and O work? Because they both do wallboarding, so they wouldn't be able to cover 4 different tasks. But yeah, K and L, that could work. So D is the correct answer. Please let me know if you have any follow-up questions.